Hello everybody, Backyard Biologist here. In my channel, the goal will be to prove the existence of cryptids and moreover Sasquatch. Sasquatch has intrigued me and my friends for years upon years upon years, and we are going to go over the discovery of Sasquatch, but then neglect to verify Sasquatch. I will be talking mostly about Sasquatch, but also other cryptids like the Wendigo, the Skinwalkers, Beast of Bray Road, which is one of my personal favorites, Jersey Devil, one of my favorites, the Thunderbirds as well. Well, Thunderbird, and yeah, that's just a brief synopsis of my channel, and I hope to not gain subscribers, but hope to give the knowledge to the world that there is a fourth type that there's a fifth type of ape out there, and that ape is Sasquatch. So, with that out of the way, 69 years ago, a young boy named Dennis Martin, no, it was 59 years ago, a family called the Martins. His father was ex-Special Forces, and he was in his mid-40s at the time. He had a nice family with a 6-year-old son named Dennis. Now, Dennis was a very intuitive boy. He was a very, he loved to explore his surroundings, and when the Martins went to the Great Smoky National Park of Tennessee, they went there for a day of fun, a picnic, and really just to have a blast. But things would not go the way they seemed. Somewhere in the afternoon, Dennis was out playing in a valley with his siblings. Mom, just hold on. He was playing in a valley with his siblings, and then Mr. Martin claimed that he always had eyes on his boys. And one second he saw Dennis, and within that second he never saw him again, or so we think. When the disappearance happened, Mr. Martin, Mr. Martin, when he realized that his son was missing, he took off running down the nearest trail that he saw, and after he ran far away, his family caught up. Well, I'm not sure what happened, but his family was with him. It was his wife and another one of his kids. He said that he saw what he described as a giant hairy man carrying something over his shoulder, and in fact that is the only way that he could describe it as a man, because it was toting a sack of cloth, or what looked like cloth, over his shoulder, and it gave a defying screech. And when he heard the screech, he looked over and saw this about 8-foot tall man covered in fleecy hair, almost like a black fleecy dog, and he heard this deafening shriek, and he saw the thing draped over its shoulder, and obviously he was scareder than scared, and after that, he stayed in the park for staggering 14 days, 12 days, to search for his boy. The Green Berets were called in, the FBI was called in, all the park rangers sweep the forest. They had over 1,400 people searching the park for little Dennis, and the Smokies are obviously mountains, and if you have ever seen a topographical map of the Smokies, you will see that it is extremely hilly because it's the mountains, and so they searched for I don't know how long, for days and days and days and days and days until they called the search off. Mr. Martin, about 40 years later, when Dave Paulides, I think his name is. I might be wrong on the first name, but I know his last name is Paulides. He visited the Martins. Mr. Martin was well into his 80s, and John told him that he saw his boy one more time. He said that giant hairy man was carrying his son over his shoulder, and when Paulides asked him, "Why didn't you tell the media or the Green Berets or the FBI?" and he simply says, "Because they wouldn't believe me," and I believe him wholeheartedly on that, because 3 people saw it, him, his wife, and his daughter did, and imagine how absurd it would sound that my son went missing and I saw a giant 8-foot tall hairy man carrying my son on his shoulder off into the woods. Now, you may take what you will from the story. I fully believe him because there were 3 witnesses, 2 besides himself, and when you have more than one witness, you aren't likely to go wrong. And I think it might have happened. Dennis may have fallen down a hillside and took a tumble and cracked his head on something, maybe, or he might have gotten injured. And Sasquatch are known to and just apes in general are known to take care of human children. If you've seen the video of Harambe, Harambe gingerly walks up to the small boy that fell in, and he pulled the small boy around to get him into the shallow side of the moat to prevent him from drowning. And what I think might have happened was I've got a picture to show you how hilly the Smokies are. Yeah, so I think he might have taken a tumble, and since he's only 6, he's very fragile, and he may a regular fall to a full-grown man would be catastrophe to a small 6-year-old boy, and I think that he may have fallen, and then a Sasquatch chanced upon him and may have carried Dennis on his shoulder to protect him, and when he sees these things that he's seen for the first time, he or she has seen for the first time larger naked apes running through the forests. He or she had the mindset, this is mine. I need to care for it now, and I need to get these things away from me. So the Sasquatch shrieked, and I don't believe that the Sasquatch had any ill intent with Dennis, because apes, as we all know, are very gentle animals. They're misunderstood by the media, and I think that overall, it would look really bad for the Sasquatch, but I wholeheartedly believe that Dennis took a wrong turn, because because if he was just clearly snatched up by the Sasquatch in broad daylight, um, he his other boys would have seen it. He would have seen it because he said that he just had his eyes fixed on Dennis like an eagle, and he definitely would have seen it. So I think almost certainly that Dennis took a wrong turn somewhere and took a fall, and the Sasquatch was taking care of him. And and for those that think that an ape kidnapping a person is just stupid, hear me out. Oftentimes in Africa, children who get lost, I know that this has happened a couple times, children who get lost will oftentimes be rescued by the apes, and out there, whether if it's a chimpanzee, a bonobo, or a gorilla, they're nurtured by the chimpanzees. And even with some monkeys, I know that out in India, there was a small boy who was taken, a 2-year-old who was taken from his crib by a macaque. I mean, the macaques out in India don't, they will take your highest prized item and trade something for you, but they don't have ill intent. They only do it to get a piece of food, a snack that you have. They're not going to try and hurt what you have, but the little boy was taken by the macaque, and as the macaque tried to jump out the window to grab the power line, the baby fell and passed away outside the window. This was a second-story window, and just apes in general, including humans, think that smaller primates and smaller animals are cute. If you've seen the videos of a gorilla or an orangutan babying an injured animal, it's sweet. And I know that the Sasquatch that supposedly took Dennis didn't have an ill intent with him, that he was just trying to protect him, and when he saw the humans, the things that he's never seen before, he or she simply got scared and shrieked to ward them off. And so those are just my thoughts on the disappearance of Dennis Martin. Feel free to leave what you think in the comments below, and stay handsome.